Okay, so you might be wondering why I'm always in the barn past several videos. It has been very windy and cold in Tennessee, and I made a couple videos, and my wife was like, I cannot hear you, barely, and it's very annoying. I don't want to annoy people. I tend to be obnoxious and annoy them anyway, so that's just adds fuel to the fire, right? Something about being in the barn, all you can really hear is horses munching. And if you've never spent any time around horses, I highly encourage you to give it a go. They're very revealing. They will teach you a lot about yourself. If you want to see a person's character, see how their horses act with them. Horses don't lie. They mirror you. They mirror your emotion. They are highly intuitive. They can tell if you're aggravated or frustrated from a mile away. It's a night and day difference. I struggle with short fuse, getting agitated. I still fight that battle from time to time. And I let the world get in the way, right? Hurry. John Mark Comer says hurry is the antithesis of peace, and he's right. He is right. Hurry is a big tool of the devil. And in this materialistic world, this digital age, it's really easy to be hurried. But horses will help you slow down, or you won't get to do anything with them because they won't let you, right? So they've changed me a lot. I love them. I love them. They're just really wonderful creatures. Just absolutely wonderful. There's our Devil's Garden Mustang, Gabriel. He's a blessing. Wonderful, wonderful creature. But enough about that. Talk about hurry, talk about coming to Christ, talk about God's will today. So we talk about coming to Christ. We talk about giving ourselves over and believing in our cardia, in our, pisteuses, the true, deep, core, heart, soul belief in and on Christ and everything he does, everything he taught, everything he teaches today, because he is the living God. That is most certain. Everything. Well, we've accepted Christ. Now, what do we do? You hear a lot of times when people pray, and Jesus said, Father, not your will, not my will, but your will. Ooh, got that backwards. Not my will, but your will be done. Before he when he was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, he sweat drops of blood. He knew what lay before him, and he prayed for the Father to take that cup from him, but not his will, but the Father's be done. So we pray that, but what is God's will? I found myself many times trying to will God's will, like, this is what you want me to do, right? This is it. Yeah, I hope, maybe. I really want it to be that, so I'll pray, your will be done. I pray it's your will that A, B, and C happen in that order. But if not, in my heart of hearts, in my cardia, I'm content with that. And contentment, it's a big gift. But God's will, a lot of times we are in such a hurry. The world is moving so fast around us. It's really hard to find that cathartic, horse-chewing grain, that quiet time to spend with God, to spend with our thoughts, to process, to analyze, to digest, to ruminate. Anybody know what a ruminant is? It's a cow, 4 stomachs. They eat food. It goes to a different stomach. They bring it back up. Let's chew the cud, right? It is to chew on it, to ruminate. That's how we need to digest the word. That's how we need to digest our thoughts. We need to spend time with God in that manner. We need to digest. We fly by the seat of our pants. I think this is God's will, right? Blake Wingo, in a devotional I was reading, said God's will, or he was taught when he was a child, something like that. God's will is not A, B, C. God's will is come follow me. And I agree with that absolutely 100%, 10 times over. It's come follow him. And what is that? It is doing the next small right thing. It is left, right, left. Small steps, one in front of the other. And that is the narrow path. That is God's will for all of us, is just to follow him, to take one step after the other, one foot in front of the other, doing the right thing, talking in a good, kind way, treating people with love, patience. You know, the first thing that Paul says in Corinthians when he talks about love is patient. Love is patient. Jesus is patient. He stands at the door. He waits. He's patient. But don't try to will God's will. Don't ever do that. I think that's what the devil wants us to do. He wants us to be in a hurry. He wants us to will God's will and move in that direction. And that just causes chaos, that causes tension, that causes discontentment, causes unhappiness, all the nasties. It just causes all of them. And the devil revels in that. He revels in the hurry. He revels in tomorrow. That worrying about tomorrow is not worrying about God's will. And, you know, the Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 6, the end of chapter 6, let tomorrow worry about itself. And we can hardly let tomorrow worry about itself if we're in a hurry, because we're trying to make these grandiose plans, and it's just not going to work for us. The next small right thing. Worry about today. Of course, I'm not saying, hey, don't go planning on what you're going to do with your kids on the weekend, you know, but we make our plans, but let the Lord direct our steps. You know, He's going to, whether we want Him to or not. So be content with that and focus on that small step, one foot in front of the other, the next small right thing. You'll be all the happier for it. God bless you. Have a great day, y'all.